Hello, and welcome to What is Crypto? I'm Matt, and this is Crypto. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the state of the market. I'm going to be talking to you about if I think altcoin season is over, if I think it's even begun yet, or what I really think is going to be coming up next. So if that sounds like it could be for you, smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Also join my Discord, 100% free to join. So pause the video, scroll down, click the link, and I will see you there. Cheers, legends. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first up, let's have a look at the state of the markets. So if you've been living under a rock or you just haven't been online recently, you can see that everything is getting absolutely beaten up. Everything is down 20, 30%, and the markets are super bloody and fearful. So if you want to have, now this isn't just in the coin that you own, this is universal. So daily, weekly, everything looks pretty damn gross. You want to go and look at the charts though. At the moment, we had this massive wick down, which was the largest liquidation event in crypto history. So yeah, everything is looking like it is bouncing a decent amount now, but I'm going to talk to you about whether or not I think the altcoin season is over. And I mean, I don't think it's over at all, but in the video, I'm going to tell you exactly why that is. Why do I say this? Well, let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance, if you're not familiar, this chart represents Bitcoin dominance. When Bitcoin dominance is going down, that means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. When Bitcoin dominance is going up, that means that Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. Now, what we have seen with these yellow vertical lines that indicate the halvings is that 7 or 8 months after the Bitcoin halving, we do have a breakdown in Bitcoin dominance, and that indicates altcoin season. Now, we're currently 9 months after the Bitcoin halving, so 1 month late. However, we still don't have our breakdown in Bitcoin dominance yet. Now, from our breakdown in Bitcoin dominance, if we just want to scroll and see how long we stay in a broken down Bitcoin dominance leg, 10 months here. So 10 months after, now in our next bull run, we had a breakdown and we stayed down for a little bit longer. It was 20 months. However, our first bottom did come in at 11 months after. Now, what we've been seeing at the moment is we have been seeing us going up for quite a period of time. It's been almost 3 years of us going up with Bitcoin dominance. So what we do usually see is 3 years of up and then 1 year of sharp down. And before we go down, quite often there is a massive green candle beforehand. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is the capitulation push up of Bitcoin dominance breaking up before we have a reversal and a sharp plummet down. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing on Bitcoin dominance at the moment. And yeah, really important to pay attention to both the price of Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance when you're assessing altcoin season. All right, what else do I have for you? Alrighty, now if we're just going to have a look historically at Bitcoin, when does Bitcoin really start to rip up? So we're going to have a look initially at the 2017 cycle. So if we're scrolling back here, putting us 6, 7, 8 months after the Bitcoin halving, let's have a look. So January, February, you can see that doesn't look like we have gone up much. However, if you're actually looking at how much we'd gone up since the Bitcoin halving, this is still up 120%. So yeah, it doesn't look like too much retrospectively. However, it still is quite a large number. We're going up from 500 to say 1,000, 1,200. Either way, January, February, this is where it really started to cook. And after there, massive pump. So we had about 100% gain up until January, February, 120% gain. And then after January, February, after the 120% gain, we went up 1,500%. So let's look at the next cycle. So January, February, around here, and then we did still have a massive run up before a cool off and then our double top. So just remember these dates, January 2021 here, and then back here, we've got January, February 2017. So 2017, 2021, and then the next one we're going to look at is 2025. So 2025, and I'll get to why we're looking at these in a second. So January, February 2025. So yes, we have pumped up another decent amount since the Bitcoin halving. However, if we look historically, we still do have a decent amount of upside left, and that is solely in Bitcoin. Now let's have a look at altcoins. So we'll go Ethereum. Ethereum is a major one. Ethereum is really important to track. Once again, looking at kind of that January price action looks more bottomed. February wasn't really until kind of March, April that we started to rip up. Now, if we want to have a look at the last cycle, where were we? January, February, we hadn't really ripped up as much. We were just starting to push up in January before absolutely ripping up into outer space. Solana, January, once again, hadn't had a massive rip up. So January, February, ripped up. Now, May, if you've ever heard the term sell in May and go away, bit of a cool off in May, and then bang, absolutely punched up. So January, February pumped up, chilled off for a few months, and then absolutely ripped up. So after the sell in May and go away cool off, we then did over a 10x for Solana. So pretty crazy gains. Now let's have a look at some other coins. So let's have a look at AVAX when AVAX started ripping. AVAX, so January 2021, just had a little bit of upside there, January, February. Bang, absolutely ripped. Sell in May and go away, chilled off for a few months, and then it wasn't until June, July that we absolutely started to rip up parabolically. So after that, we had a 13x. Let's have a look at Cardano. So Cardano, where were we? So January, February, we had just started to rip up with Cardano. Pumped up May, sell in May and go away, couple of months off, then absolutely ripped up. Yeah, it's not looking amazing right now. However, if you're having a look at similar time periods, we did see 50% bleeds in altcoins. Now, looking back at the chart, it doesn't look like much, but even this little bleed here, 30% bleed, it doesn't look like much retrospectively, but at the time, absolutely sucked to go through. Also really interesting to note that sell in May and go away has been quite applicable, especially in the last cycle. Not saying that we'll always repeat the same, but things tend to kind of have a similar pattern. So if we're looking at where we are now, it looks to me like we're in quite a similar spot. February, little bit of a cool off, rip up towards May, cool off, bang, shoot up. So February, a little bit of a cool off. So it looks to me like we're in quite a similar spot. Now let's look at a couple of the bigger altcoins. Some of the smaller altcoins, such as Gala, if you're looking at them, January, February, hadn't really moved a huge amount. And it wasn't really until, say, August, September, October, November that they really started to absolutely rip. Now, I want to show you a different side than a lot of YouTubers do show you though, as it isn't just as simple as holding every single coin until October, November. Now, a lot of coins, they did top out before. So when you go January, February, coins like Filecoin, they topped out in April. SushiSwap topped out in March, April. And if you had held coins like these all the way through to November, well, you wouldn't have done too well. It is really hard to pick, however, as gaming was a super hot narrative. And if you had sold gaming in April, that you would have missed out on the absolutely parabolic run that ended in around November with that blow off top. So what I'm trying to say is there is the big importance of taking profits along the way, also identifying the narrative that you think is going to be one of the top performers. And I do think for me personally, the narratives that have the most longevity, apart from the big L1s, are likely going to be AI and meme coins. So I am invested in gaming, but I do think if gaming starts to absolutely rip, I'm going to be more inclined to take profits more aggressively with that. Either way, I think you should take profits pretty aggressively on a lot of your positions if you're up a huge amount. Now, this cycle is slightly different, and I have noticed that instead of going large from Bitcoin to Ethereum to majors, we have almost gone from Bitcoin to meme coins, which is a little bit atypical of the cycle, but I do think going from Bitcoin to the trenches, people are losing a truckload of money and they're likely going to flood back into utility. What we want is we want to see ETH. We want to see ETH to start performing well. Now, this goes to show you just how quickly the markets can move. I was out for about 2 hours and I've come back and we've had the largest liquidation event in crypto history. So we wicked down to 2100, absolutely insane. I honestly think if you can be buying anywhere around these levels, they are going to be significantly great entries long term. Now, yeah, we could go lower as always, but I don't think we do. This massive candle here, this reminds me so much of what we saw earlier in the cycle. I think it was in August. Yeah, August 5th. So this massive Warfud wick here. Now, everyone here, when we had this Warfud wick, everyone was calling for below a 40K Bitcoin. They were calling high 30s, saying that it was coming. And yeah, it never came. After this as well, we absolutely ripped up. So these massive candles with hugely long wicks, especially on the daily, yeah, they are usually great buying opportunities. So it's a bit of a watch this space at the moment. Really want to see Bitcoin. I'd love to see it hold above 94K. And really for me, the longer wick we can print on this candle, the better. So yeah, really want to see a massive long wick like we saw here. That is an indicator that there is market strength and we likely found a local bottom. Now I'll go and have a quick look at my Twitter. I shared this little post the other day, and that is just kind of to show where we are in comparison to previous altcoin seasons. So January 2017, January 2021, and January 2025. Now, this is kind of what we just went through then. The really parabolic altcoin rips do typically take off in the year after the halving. and they do typically take off from February. Alrighty, so now we're going to have a quick look at Ethereum and Ethereum's monthly return patterns. So if you want to have a look at the 3 years that we're looking at, 2017, so year after the halving, 34% in January, 47% in February, 215% in March. So more weighted towards the back end of February, March. 2021, 78% January, 7% February, 35% March. So still 3 grain months. And 2025, we did have 9.74%. So our smallest gain in January, hopefully, and then February and March yet to come. But I do expect them to be overwhelmingly green months. Now, it doesn't always just have to be halving years. If you look by and large, the vast majority of January, February, and March for Ethereum is green. And we want to see Ethereum performing really well for altcoins to start absolutely ripping. Alrighty, anyway, that is just a little bit on what I'm seeing at the markets. Hopefully that calms the nerves a little bit. Yes, most people are down significantly over the last few months, and it is just another good reminder to take profits on the way up. This is something I talk about a lot in my Discord, so if you're not a member, it is 100% free to join. Scroll down, click the link, and I'll see you there. It is just really good to get in your mindset of let's take profits. We're never going to be able to perfectly time the top, and whenever you're starting to feel euphoric, you want to be showing people your portfolio. It's probably a good idea to check yourself. Have a little bit of a think about how you're going, and then maybe take some profits off the top. You can never go broke taking profits, but you sure as shit can go broke if you don't take any profits at all. All right, cheers, legends. That's going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and I'd appreciate you more. And yeah, as always, I'll catch you in the next one.